Okay, good morning everyone. We are on the top of Kuf Aleph Amud Aleph, Tana Rabbanan. I just want to read you quickly a few psukim here, which is talking about the day of the Chanukah HaMishkan, not the day, but Rosh Chodesh, the 8th day of the Chanukah HaMishkan. Vaydaber Moshe el Aaron v'el Elazar v'el Tamar b'nav hanosarim Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Moshe spoke to Aaron, Elazar, and Itamar. Kechues hamincha hanoseres meishei Adonai v'yichlu matzos eitel mizbeach kodesh kadashim hi. You should eat the mincha. V'achaltem oseh b'makom kadosh ki chakcha v'chak banecha hi meishei Adonai kichein tzuvesi. That's the first thing we're going to see. Kichein tzuvesi. So I commanded you to eat the korban mincha. And again, as we're going to see in the Gemara, the reason he's going to keep saying kichein tzuvesi, kichein tziva, even though you're an onain, even though Nadav and Avihu just died, you still should be eating it. You should also eat the chazeh and the shok. What's that? Shalmei b'nei Yisrael. That's the shlamim. So again, he says Hashem commanded that you should eat it, even though you're an onain. You should eat the shlamim. So now you're eating the mincha and the shlamim. The ate seir hachatas, but then when he turned to the chatas, Moshe Rabbeinu was taken aback because he looks and the chatas is burning. Ve'seir hachatas darosh tarash Moshe v'hinei saraf, it's burning. Vayiksof al Elazar v'al Itamar b'nei Aaron anosuim leimor, and he says to Elazar, Itamar, and as we'll see, seemingly to Aaron, Madua lo achaltem es hachatas b'makom hakodesh. I told you to eat the mincha, I told you to eat the shlamim, those you didn't burn. Why are you burning the chatas? As we'll see in the Gemara, this chatas is which chatas? The chatas of Rosh Chodesh. Ki kodesh kadashim hi ve'osan asan lachem la'seises avon eidol lechaper alayem lifnei Adonai. Hein lehuvaz damai lakodesh pnima. You can't tell me you didn't eat it because you brought the dam inside, because I know you didn't. Or he's asking. Achol tachlu asab kodesh kasher tzivesi. That's the third kasher tzivesi. V'daber Aaron el Moshe. Hein hayom hakrivu es chatasam v'esolasam lifnei Adonai v'tikreno si ka'ela ve'achalti chatas hayom hayitav b'nei Adonai. Does God really want me to eat this chatas? V'yishma Moshe v'yitav b'nav. Moshe hears and he's quiet. And he says it's okay. And as we'll see, there's three chatases that we're dealing with here. So we have the mincha, the shlamim, and three chatases. The first chatas is this chatas, the seir of Rosh Chodesh, because it's the first of Nisan. The second chatas that we're going to deal with is the first of the Nisim. Who was that? Nachshon, because it's the first of the month. And the third chatas was a special chatas for the 8th day of the inauguration. That was the chatas Shmini. So let's see. Tana Rabbanan, perfect timing, doctor. You have a guest over here. Tana Rabbanan. Kichein tzuvesi kasher tzivisi kasher tziv Hashem. It says 3 times. Kichein tzuvesi ba'ninus yochlua. Says Moshe Rabbeinu, I commanded you to eat it ba'ninus. Kasher tzivisi b'shas ma'aseh marlan. While it was happening, he said to them, why are you not eating it? Kasher tziv Hashem lo me'aleh ani omer. Don't think that I'm the one who's making up this law that in aninus you should still eat it. Even though in aninus you don't usually eat it. I'm telling you that in aninus over here at this time you should be eating them. Or mini, bipnei aninus nisfa lakach ne'amar ka'ela. Amar Shmuel lo kasha ha Rabbi Yehuda ha Reb Nechem. I don't want to get too much into the or mini, but I want to concentrate on the two different opinions, which is what we're going to deal with now. There's 2 different opinions, and then we'll have to discuss the whole back and forth of Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron. There's 2 opinions as to why Aaron and his sons did not eat this chatas of Rosh Chodesh that day. Again, they said eating the mincha is okay. Eating the shlamim, they agreed, is okay. But the chatas of Rosh Chodesh, they decided to burn. And Moshe Rabbeinu is asking them why. And Aaron said something to him, ka'ela, he said something to him, and he said, okay, I agree. So what's the reason that it was burned? So there's 2 opinions. The first opinion is, Detani b'bnei aninus sarfuha, lakach ne'amar ka'ela. Divrei Rabbi Nechemi. Rabbi Nechemi says the reason that they burnt it was because of aninus. The reason that they couldn't eat it was because of aninus, and we'll have to explain why specifically this chatas versus anything else were they not allowed to eat because of aninus. So one reason is that the chatas of Rosh Chodesh they couldn't eat because of aninus. Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Shimon omrim, no, because of aninus they could have eaten it. What's the reason that they didn't eat it? Bimnei tuma nisrafa, because of tuma. Because this chatas was tameh, as we'll see. Why? She'imata omer b'pnei aninus nisrafa. Because if you're telling me, like you're holding, that they didn't eat this because of aninus, so hayu l'shlashtan she'yitzafua. Now, the shlashtan originally, if you don't look at Rashi, you think it means what? The mincha, the shlamim, and the chatas. That's not what it means. What it means is the 3 korban chatases. The 3 that I mentioned to you. The Rosh Chodesh one, the one of Nachshon, and the one that was special for the Shmini, for the first day, the 8th day of the inauguration, which was the first day of Rosh Chodesh, the first time that Nachshon brought. Again, Moshe did the avodah for the first 7 days, and on the 8th day is the first time that one of the Nesiim did it. It's when Aaron started to do it, and there was a special chatas for that day as well. So says Rabbi Shimon, I don't understand. If you're going to taina that the reason that he didn't eat the korban, that Aaron and his sons didn't eat the korban of Rosh Chodesh, the chatas, was because they were ba'aninus, and there's something about chatases, as opposed to shlamim and minchas, that you can't eat the chatas when you're aninus, even though you're Aaron and his sons, at the end of the day, so why did they eat the other 2? Seemingly they ate the chatas of Nachshon, and seemingly they ate the chatas of the Shmini. That's the first problem. And even if they couldn't eat it, why did they burn it? They could have just eaten it the next night. They could have eaten it that night, because we said before, if you remember, that Aninus Laila is different. That the Aninus, again, for our purposes, we said that it goes based on when the death was, even though today we hold the Maisa that you're an onain until the burial. Back then it was just a matter of an onain the day of the death, and then maybe the night after the day of the death, no matter when the burial was, and then your Aninus was officially owed for Midorais or Midoraban, and we extend it until the burial. But then Roy Lachol Ma'arev, if it's true that it was all because of Aninus, then they could have eaten it that night. Why'd they burn it? It makes sense according to me, he says, because it was Tameh. If it was Tameh, then there's nothing that they could do. And another reason that it must have been that it was because it was Tameh that they didn't eat it, because if you're saying that because of Aninus they couldn't eat it, so then Aaron and his sons couldn't eat it, but Pinchas was there, he was a Kohen, he could have eaten it, so why'd they have to burn it? So Rav Amar Aidi v'Aidi Rabbi Nechemia v'Lokasha kan bekache shah kan bekache doros. So the first answer we're going to give is within Rabbi Nechemia. Again, Rabbi Nechemia says that they couldn't eat it because they were onains. We just asked 3 questions, and we're going to answer some of the questions. We're going to answer all the questions, but the first answer to the question is, how can they eat it? What about the korban chatas? What about all the other chatas? So it says the Gemara, kan bekache shah, kan bekache doros. First of all, let me just give you a klal, says the Gemara. The reason that it was because of Aninus, it was because of Aninus. Why specifically this korban? Because there's a difference between all of these korbanos. The korbanos that were kache shah, that Hashem said to eat specifically for this occasion, those you can eat even ba'aninus. And that was Aaron HaKohen's argument. But the ones that were always, that it was just a regular day, that one I couldn't eat because I'm an onain. So it makes a lot of sense. So what does Aaron say? Aaron says the mincha is kache shah, it's for now. I can eat that. The shlamim is kache shah, it's specifically for now. The korban of Nachshon I can eat it specifically for now. The chatas of the 8th day is specifically for now. The chatas of Rosh Chodesh is every Rosh Chodesh. If it's the same as every Rosh Chodesh, that's not considered to be kache shah. That's considered to be kache doros. That's forever. That's for all generations and every single month. Therefore, that specific one I couldn't eat. So again, he could still say that it's because of Aninus, but that specific one I couldn't eat. At the end of the day, we're still going to answer. So why they have to burn it? At the end of the day, they could have eaten it that night, or at the end of the day, Pinchas could have eaten it. But that answers the first question. The first question is, how can they only say this one we're not going to eat? Because this one is something different. It was for now. It was kitcha shaita for this hour, literally. And therefore, if there was something that God commanded specifically for this hour, those are the ones that I can eat. But the ones that were ledoros forever, i.e. the Rosh Chodesh one, that I'm not going to eat. Rabbi Nechemia heichem mitaretz ani krai v'Rabbana heichem mitaretz al krai. So we haven't spoken about everything yet, but let's see how they read the psukim. Rabbi Nechemia mitaretz lahu hachi. Rabbi Nechemia, who says that it was because of Aninus, and the whole argument of Aaron was that I can't eat this specific chatas because this one is kitcha ledoros, and if it's ledoros, I can't eat it ba'aninus. So here's the back and forth between Moshe and Aaron. Madua lo achaltem? Amar lo Moshe Aaron. Shema nichnas dama lifnai v'lifnim. Maybe the reason you're not eating it is because it went lifnai v'lifnim. And again, this is all based on the psukim. As he says over here, achaltem osah b'makom kadosh. So it's all, maybe you brought it inside the Kodesh, and now we know you can't eat it once it brings inside the Kodesh. Amar lo, hein lo huvas dama. Aaron answers, no, we didn't bring it inside. That's not the reason that we're not eating it. Shema chutzlam b'chisatza yatzes. Maybe it's not that you brought it inside, but maybe you brought it outside of the Azara. Maybe that's why you're not eating it. Amar lo, b'kodesh I saw. It was all b'kodesh. V'dilma ba'ninus akavusa upes. Maybe you brought it when you're an onain. Maybe the kids brought it when they were an onain, and even though we said that we said that they can't eat it, if they brought it ba'ninus, then they ruin it, because they can't be makriv it either. An onain can't eat the korban, he can't bring it either. So maybe they brought this chatas when they were aninus. Says Aaron, Amar lo Moshe v'chihei mikri v'ani hikrafti. You're right. If they would have brought it, my other 2 sons, Elazar and Itamar, they would have ruined it. But I brought it, and I'm the Kohen Gadol. And therefore, the Kohen Gadol, we know, is allowed to be makriv, even as an onain. That's something that we said before. If you didn't bring it inside, and you didn't bring it outside, so then why aren't you eating it? I commanded you to eat it. Would God want me to eat it? Again, this is the argument. Over there, when God told you that we should eat ba'aninus, he was talking about the ones that were kache shah, that were specifically for now. Because if it was the ones that were forever, i.e. the Sar of Rosh Chodesh, kal v'chomer mi-maiser akal. I know kal v'chomer from Maiser that we shouldn't be eating it. It says by Parshas Kisavo that I didn't eat the truma, that I didn't eat the meiser ba'oni. Therefore, bekatche doros lo kol shekain. For sure, bekatche doros, I can't eat it. Miyad vayishma Moshe vayital beinav hodev v'lo bosh. Moshe lomar lo shamati, ela omar shamati v'shachachti. Moshe, right, there's two ways when somebody says you're wrong. You could either deny knowing anything. Oh, God never told me that. Or you could say you're right. And he was a little bit, wasn't embarrassed, said you're right. God actually explained that to me and I forgot. Which is fascinating in its own right. So at the end of the day, that's the back and forth within this whole idea of shaita and ledoros, and that's the back and forth, and that explains why specifically Aaron and his sons did not eat the chatas of Rosh Chodesh. For Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Shimon Heichim etar tzeluhu, the ones who said that it was tamei, that the reason that they didn't eat it was because it was tamei. So how do they go back and forth? Same thing. Now we add one other thing, because again, within this mandamar it says that it was because of tumah. We need to start bringing tumah into the picture. V'dilma agav mariraychu pashata b'itmai. So Moshe Rabbeinu says to Aaron within this mandamar, maybe since you guys were so sad over your sons and over their brothers, maybe you weren't so careful and you touched it and you made it tamei. He says to him, he was a little offended, Aaron. Amarlo Moshe, kachani beinecha shni mevaze kache shemayim. You think that's who I am? That I'm not going to be careful and I'm going to be mevaz, I'm going to make it tamei? Vatikreno si ka'ila vafilu ela v'cha'ila einani mevaze kache shemayim. Amarlo, so Moshe says, v'hein lahu v'estama v'kodesh haisa, achol tuchlu asa v'kodesh kasher tzivisi ba'aninu shochlu. So I understand. If you did everything, you didn't bring it in, you didn't bring it out, you didn't touch it when you were tamei, so why aren't you eating it? Amarlo shema lo shamata ela balayla. Te'i bayom kava chomer mi meiser hakal. Uma meiser hakal amar Torah lo achalti b'oni mimenu kodesh chamor lo kol shekain. So it's interesting. Again, we're going to see in a second, what are they talking about? Tumah. He brought in tumah for a second, but he said the reason that they didn't eat it was because of tumah. What's going on over here? Clearly, there needs to be some type of discussion here where Aaron pushed it off a little bit, and then as we'll see in a second, it became tamei later. So what happens here? So Moshe says, why didn't you eat it? So what does Aaron answer him? Aaron answers him, well, I couldn't eat it because I can only eat it at night. Di bayom kavachomer mi meiser. I can't eat it today because I have a kavachomer from meiser that I can't eat this korban chatas rosh chodesh today. Ba'aninus, why? Mi meiser akal, ma meiser akal amar Torah lo achalti be'oni mimenu kodesh chamor lo kol shekain miyad vayishma Moshe. What's the problem here? Vayital beinav lo bosh Moshe lomar lo shamati v'shachachti. So according to this opinion, what happens? A back and forth, according to this opinion, is that he said maybe you made it tamei, I didn't make it tamei. So why aren't you eating it? I'm going to eat it tonight. So what happened here? I don't understand. So what's the obvious next question in the Gemara?
How did it get tamei?
So why did he burn it? Before we get to how did it become tamei, why did he burn it? Then we're going to say the reason he burnt it is because it got tamei. Ibaylahu lishvayahu v'lemechle ba'or. So according to this svara, where the only reason that they weren't eating it today was because they were aninus today, but Aaron was answering Moshe. Again, according to the other Mandi Amar, what did Aaron answer Moshe? I can't eat it ever because it's kacha l'dairos. If it's l'dairos, I have to burn it. That's why he burnt it. But according to this, where it's not kacha l'dairos, it's not a matter of kacha l'dairos, it's just a matter of tumah, where there was no tumah yet at this point of the discussion. It didn't become tamei yet, so he says, why didn't you eat it? He says, I'm waiting till tonight to eat it. So very nice. So why didn't they wait till tonight to eat it? Why did they burn it? Says the Gemara, Tumah be'ones basa. So fascinating. What comes out is that Moshe Rabbeinu says, why don't you eat it? Says it must be that it became tamei. Aaron says, I would never make it tamei. Of course not. Says the Gemara, ultimately that day it became tamei. But you're right, mitzad aninus, there was no reason that they couldn't eat it. Because according to this mandamar, they could just have eaten it the next night. They could have eaten it the following or that night. They could have eaten it ba'aninus. So Lamaisa, why didn't they eat it? They didn't eat it because of tumah. So again, it comes out that if you ask me, why didn't they eat it? There's two different reasons. According to the first mandamar, they didn't eat it because they were ba'aninus. And ba'aninus, you can't eat kucha. You can't eat kachim ledoros, things that are forever, i.e. the Sarah Rosh Chodesh. And according to this Manda Amar, you can eat the kachim ledoros. There's no punafka mean a kachim ledoros, kachim l'shaita. Lamaisa, why didn't they eat this korban chatas Rosh Chodesh? Because the Metzias is that it got tamei. 1 second, yeah.
This back and forth, I mean, Moshe must have taught it to Aaron first, and then he forgot and Aaron remembered it. That's what
it sounds like.
Yeah.
Right, or else how would Aaron know it?
Yeah.
If, according to the second opinion, when we're talking about tumah, the aninus doesn't apply that night.
Okay.
So, according to the first mandam, first version of it, aninus applies that night.
Okay.
The following night, right?
But it doesn't matter, because again, aninus would have, it doesn't matter. According to the first mandamar, they can't eat it ever. Oh, you're saying it applies even at night. Therefore, right, the Gemara is going to mention that. Therefore, it expires. Therefore, you can no longer eat it. That's why they had to burn it. Otherwise, it could have waited at night for that, for the first mandomer. Says the Gemara, according to the Rabbanan, which is again Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Shimon, who say what? Who were the second opinion who said it has to do with Tumah. Hainu dichsiv hayom. That's why it says the word hayom, because again, it was only today that we can't eat it until it became tameh. It was only today that we can't eat it. Tonight we could eat it. Ultimately, they couldn't eat it because the Mitzvah says that it became tameh. But when they say hayom to Moshe Rabbeinu before it became tameh, they're just saying, wait, we're not eating it today, but give us a second, we're going to eat it tonight. Says the Gemara, El Rabbi Nechemia, my hayom, chovas hayom. He wasn't talking about today versus tonight, for just like Rabbi just said, tonight and today are the same. So what does he mean hayom? When he says hayom, he's talking about the sire of Rosh Chodesh as a chovas hayom. It's a chova because of the day, because today is Rosh Chodesh. So according to Rabbi Nechemia, who again has to do with Aninos, he says Hein Hayom because it's about Hein Hayom. It's about Kedusha L'Shaita versus Kedusha L'Doros. El Rabbanan, my Hein Hayom. What does that have to do with anything? You don't concentrate on the Hayom part, concentrate on the Hein part. They didn't go ahead and brought it. I brought it. That's the back and forth. But now, Amar Mar, Hayu L'Shlashtan Sheyisrafu. So now we said again, that according to the Man de Amar who says that it was because of Tumah, so he says back to the one who held that it was because of Aninus, he said to them, I understand, if it was because of Aninus, why specifically did they choose this Rosh Chodesh one? It means I understand that they couldn't eat the Rosh Chodesh one, fine, but why specifically the Rosh Chodesh one? And what about the other two? Says the Gemara, my Shlosh, and what are the three? So I already told you the three, but now the Gemara is telling you, which is where I got it from. Titania, ve'ei se'ir achatas tarosh tarash Moshe, that's what the pasuk says. Sa'ir zeso ish zeo se'ir nachshon, chata zo chata shmini, darash sa'ir sharash chodesh. Yachol shlashta nisifu. You might think that all three of them were burnt that day. Tamalomar v'hinei soraf. It says in the singular in the pasuk that only one was burnt. Echad nisaf v'lo shlashta nisifu. Darosh darash stayed rishos lama. Why did it say darosh darash twice? Amarlu mipnei machata zu nisifu ve'elu menachos. So Moshe Rabbeinu had two questions. First of all, why are you burning this one? And if you have a reason to burn this one, why are you leaving these? Ve'eni yodeya ezehu. So which one was burnt? Kishomer ve'osan atzan lachem laseises avon ha'ida. It says that the one that was burnt was the one that was for the sins of the nation. Which is for the sins of the nation? The chatas of Rosh Chodesh we know we bring every single month for the sins of the nation. Haveyomer zeh seir shel Rosh Chodesh. Says the Gemara, fine. I want to just see this Rashi on the left. If you look to the left, Sar Nachshon, because again, sometimes Rashi gives you the background. She'oso hayom, this is where I got it from. Hayar rishon lakravas nasim. If you ever wondered where the art school gets it from, they don't just make it up. It's usually from Rashi. She'oso hayom hayar rishon lakravas nasim. That day was the first day of the Hakravas Nesiim. D'Tanya b'Seder Olam. B'Chav Gimel Ba'Adar Hischilu HaMiluim. It was a one-day Rosh Chodesh. On the 23rd of Adar is when they started the Miluim. Who did the work? Moshe Rabbeinu. V'chol Shivat Hayamim Hayam Moshe Ma'amid HaMishkan U'Makavetz Korbaноsa B'chol Boker U'Boker U'Pirku. He would put it up, he would bring his Korbanos, and he would take it down. U'Bashmini Hamidu V'Lo Pirku. On the 8th day he put it up and he never took it down. V'Hu Rosh Chodesh Nisan V'Oso Hayom Natal Eser Ataros. Who was the Hashem says, take a special one for this day. And also, again, the first day was also the first day of the Nesiim. Who was that? That was Nachshon ben Aminadav. That's the back and forth. Says the Gemara, Shaper Ka'amr Lei. So he had a good taina on him. He had a good taina. Lamaisa, if it was the Sawyers of Rosh Chodesh and there were two other Seirim, why did they only burn this one? Reb Nechemia, Latame Damer, Katshe Shah, Lo Paslu B'Anunas. As we said, according to Reb Nechemia, it's a din in Katshe Shah, and therefore he didn't have to burn the other two, because it was only this one, which was Katshe Doros, the Rosh Chodesh one, which was for all generations and for all months, that he had to get rid of it. Says the Gemara, Marmar Hayalola Echla Be'erev. So now the second question is, why did he have to burn it? If it was because of Aninus, they could have waited till night. We said the answer is Shaper Kamerlei. That's a good taina. Kesavar Aninus Lailu Deoraisa. Fascinating. Rabbi Nechemia holds that the Aninus of the night after is actually Deoraisa. And therefore, just like the Aninus of the day is Deoraisa, even though we thought that we don't have a mandamer that says like this. But it sounds like he's holding that the Aninus of the day of death is Deoraisa. We thought that at the most, Aninus of Laila the following night is Derabbanan, which is why we said for sure you could eat the Korban Pesach. But then we said, according to him, it's Aninus Laila is Deoraisa, therefore you can't eat the Chatas that day, you can't eat that night, you're stuck, you can't eat it at all, and therefore they had to burn it. And what was his last taina? His last taina was, why did you burn it? You could have just given it to Pinchas. Says the Gemara, Davar Acher V'alo Pinchas Hayima. He was a Kohen. Shapir Kamerle, that's a good taina. Savalak Rabbi Elazar, he holds like Rabbi Elazar, as we'll see, who holds that Pinchas was not a Kohen at the time. Pinchas only became a Kohen later. When did he become a Kohen? When he killed Zimri. When did he kill Zimri? How many years later? 39. 40, when did this happen? This happened the first year in the desert. When did he kill Zimri? In the 40th year, 39th, 40th year. So 40 years later, he became a Kohen. Says the Gemara, Savalak Rabbi Elazar, Damar Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Chanina, Lo niskayin pinchas at shahargu lezimri, dichsiv haisalo lezaro acharav, bris kunas olam. That's when he became a Kohen. Rav Ashi Amar, there's another source. There's another source that Pinchas became a Kohen, and he even became a Kohen later. When did he become a Kohen? Actually, Sam Shalom ben Ashvatim in Yoshua, when he made peace between the Shvatim when they were being cholek Eretz Yisrael, Shnema ve'ishma pinchas l'kohen v'siyeh hayda v'rashei alfei Yisrael v'go. So now the Gemara is going to have to say, well, what is each one going to do with the other one? The one who says he became a Kohen at the times of Yoshua sounds like he already became a Kohen when he killed Zimri. And the one that says he became a Kohen when he killed Zimri, so what's it telling me again that he became a Kohen at the times of Yoshua? So the one who says he became a Kohen at the times of Yoshua says that after he killed Zimri, it was just promised him, eventually you'll become a Kohen. It's a bracha, you'll become a Kohen. He didn't actually become a Kohen till later on. V'idach nami haksiv vayishma pinchas hakohen hahu liyache zara acharav. Very interesting. The other opinion says he became a Kohen in Yoshua. He was a Kohen already in the beginning after he killed Zimri, but his kids were also Kohen. What did he get additionally in Yoshua? That not only was he the Kohen Gadol, his kids would also inherit the Kohen Gadolship. They wouldn't just inherit the Kohenship; they would inherit the Kohen Gadolship as well. Says the Gemara, Amar Rav, Moshe Rabbeinu Kohen Gadol. The Cholek B'Kachay Shemayim. Moshe Rabbeinu was the Kohen Gadol. When was this? Seemingly before Aaron became the Kohen on Rosh Chodesh. Moshe Rabbeinu was a Kohen Gadol, and he got a piece of the Korbanos. Haya Shenemar Me'el HaMiluim LaMoshe Hayol LaManeh. He clearly got a piece. He was the Kohen Gadol during this time of the Miluim, seemingly for the first 7 days. Says the Gemara Meisvei. It sounds like Moshe Rabbeinu was never the Kohen, or he wasn't even a Kohen. Hello, Pinchas haya imahen. When they said that Aaron was Aninus, so why didn't they give it to Pinchas? What should they have said? Why didn't they give it to Moshe? Says the Gemara, Imisa lema v'alo Moshe Rabbeinu hayima. Why didn't they give it to Moshe? Why did they say, why didn't they give it to Pinchas? Moshe was also a Kohen. Dil mashani Moshe detarred b'shchina. Moshe was too busy to eat. Moshe, we know, was up there 40 days and 40 nights. That was earlier. And now over here, when it's coming, he hadn't eaten anything 40 days and 40 nights. And now when he came down, he had plenty on his plate, literally. Not food, everything but everything else on his plate. So he had no food on his plate, and he didn't have to eat. So it wasn't a suggestion that they should have given it to Moshe. That wasn't even a suggestion. He didn't have time to eat. Should have given it to Pinchas. Well, you couldn't have given it to Pinchas because Pinchas wasn't yet a Kohen. Da'amar mar Moshe b'ashkama lo v'ashkama yorad. We know that he went up and down all 40 days and nights. So he came down and he went up, and then that continued even after the 40 days and 40 nights. That's one proof, and we rejected that Moshe could still have been a Kohen. Second proof that Moshe was not a Kohen is Meisvei. Lechem Elohav mikachei kadashim mikadashim yochel. It says that he could eat the kachei kadashim and the kachim kalim. Who's that? Rashi points out, it's talking about, if you look at the psukim, a Baal Mum. A Kohen who has a mum, even though he can't necessarily do the avodah, he could still eat kachei kachim and kachei kalim. Im nemru kachei kachim lama nemar kachim kalim. Im nemru kachim kalim lama nemar kachei kachim. If he can eat kachei kachim, of course he could eat kachei kalim. So why does it have to tell me that he could eat kachei kachim, the most holy types of korbanos, and the kachei kalim? Ilu lo nemar kachim kalim ha yisomer kachei kachim hu de'ochel sharei hutru lezar v'lahen. If it wouldn't have told me kachei kachim, if it wouldn't have told me kachei kalim, I would have thought that there's a specific zeres hakasav that he could eat the kachei kachim, because we see from elsewhere that there are certain people who can eat kachei kachim. Even a zar could eat kachei kachim. Who's the zar that we're referring to here? The Gemara is assuming Moshe Rabbeinu. Even Moshe Rabbeinu could eat kachei kachim. If he could eat kachei kachim and he was a zar, then for sure a Kohen who's a Baal Mum could eat kachei kachim. That was the back and forth. Kachim kalim lo yochal. But he can't eat kachei kalim. V'ilo lo nemar kachei kachim. Ha'yisi omer b'kachim kalim yochal shein kalim. B'kachei kachim lo yochal lekach nemar kachei kachim lekach nemar kachim kalim. Obviously, if it would have just said kachim kalim, you can't tell me that it could just say kachim kalim. That's the easy one, because if it just says he could eat kachei kalim about mum, I would never know that he could eat kachei kachim. So why does that tell me both? The real question is, why does that tell me once he eats kachei kachim that he could also eat kachei kalim? So the Gemara says because there was a certain situation where a zar ate kachei kachim. He was able to eat kachei kachim and not kachei kalim. Therefore, you might think that this Baal Mum is like him. Says the Gemara, he's not like him, and he could actually eat kachei kalim as well. Where do we see a zar? So look at Rashi. Rashi is the one who brings it. It's 7 lines, right in between the wide. It's in the wide lines, right in between the bottom and top. Sharei hutru lizar v'lahen. Kasal kadaitech. At this point, we're assuming hutter lizar b'Moshe ka'amar. We're assuming that when Moshe ate, she'achal chazei v'shok shel el hamiluim v'kachei kachim haya k'dechsibei bishlu etzabasar pesach ha'amoid v'sham techlu oso v'lo nochal el liyom v'layla k'dechsiv v'im yoser. So the Gemara is assuming at this point that the zar who ate kachei kachim was Moshe Rabbeinu during this time. Clearly refers to him as a zar. and not as a Kohen. Says the Gemara, and that's the proof that a Baal Mum can eat. Says the Gemara, Kitani Miya Sharei Hutra Lazar V'len Lav Moshe. Rav Sheshes says, what's wrong with you? Of course not. Moshe's not a Zar. He was a Kohen. That's why he ate. So who's it talking about? Who's this Zar that's allowed to eat Kache Kalim or Kache Kachim? Rav Sheshes says, lo. Bibama Lazar. Kedivrei Omer Yesh Mincha Bibama. There's an opinion that holds, we know that there are certain times that they were able to bring Korbanos on a Bama. One of the Korbanos, interestingly, that they were allowed to bring on a Bama was a Mincha, which was Kache Kachim, but they couldn't bring Kache Kalim on the Bama. So we see that there's a halacha that by a Bama, there are certain circumstances where Zar can eat the Korban Mincha, which is Kache Kachim, which is brought on the Bama, but he can't eat Kachim Kalim. So Gemara is assuming that you would have learned from there that just like a Zar by a Bama can eat the Mincha, which is Kache Kachim, the Baal Mum can eat only Kache Kachim. Therefore, the pasuk needs to tell me not only can he eat Kache Kachim, he could eat Kache Kalim as well. But again, for our purposes, we reject the fact that it's talking about Moshe Rabbeinu. If it's not talking about Moshe Rabbeinu, we have no proof against the thought that we had that Moshe Rabbeinu was a Kohen. Meisvei, Miriam Mihiskira, another proof that Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't a Kohen. Because who put Miriam aside when she got Saras? Im Tomer Moshe Izgira Moshe Zarhu. Ve'ein Zarhu Hasanagon. You clearly see in the Brisa that it calls Moshe a Zar. If Moshe wasn't a Kohen, he's not the one who can go ahead and put Miriam away, because you need a Kohen to look at it. Ve'im Tomer Aaron Izgira. And if you think it was Aaron, it wasn't Aaron either. Aaron Karafu. Ve'ein Karavu Hasanagon. Even though Aaron was a Kohen, a Karav, a relative, can't be the one to put you into a Tzaras state. Who made Miriam a Tzaras? A mitzorah, ela kavod gadol chalak la kadosh baruch hu lemiriam osasha. Ani Kohen, says Hashem. V'ani maskira, I'm going to put her in. Ani chalta, I'm going to confirm her. I'm going to confirm her as a mitzorah. V'ani potra, ultimately I'm going to take her out of the case of mitzorah. Ketani mias, however, for our purposes, Moshe zar ve'ein zar ruas hanagaim. Moshe was a zar and he can't see the nagaim. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak shani maras nagaim de Aaron ubanav ksuvin b'parsha. No, it doesn't mean that Moshe wasn't a Kohen. He was a zar relative to a person who can go ahead and be a person that could check out Nagaim, because it specifically says by Nagaim that it has to be Aaron Ubanav. And even though Moshe was a Kohen, it's specifically Aaron Ubanav and no other Kohanim, but it doesn't prove that Moshe wasn't a Kohen. One more Meisvei. Meisvei Chamesh Smachos Haisa Elisheva Yisrael Benos Yisrael. Elisheva had everything that day, except for, we'll see, the worst thing in the world, 2 sons who died. But Elisheva had 5 simchas that day. Who was Elisheva? Aaron's wife. We're not up to David yet. Aaron's wife. Haisa Elisheva Yisrael Benos Yisrael. Yevama Melech. Her brother-in-law was king, Moshe. Isha Kohen Gadol. Her husband was a Kohen Gadol, Aaron. Binah Elazar was a Skan. He was the assistant. Ben Binah Mashuach Milchama. Pinchas was the one that was anointed for Milchama, her grandson. Ve'achia Nasi Shevet. And her brother was Nachshon ben Aminadav. So she had everything going for her, except Va'avela al Shnei Baneh. Unfortunately, she had something that nobody would ever want to trade the 5 things for. She was an Avelis over her 2 sons, Nadav and Avihu, who had died. Kitani Mias Yivam Melech. Either way, it says that her brother-in-law Moshe was the Melech in Kohen Gadol, which implies he was the Melech and not the Kohen Gadol. Ema Af Melech. He was the Melech and he was the Kohen Gadol. Again, it seems like they switched. At that day, Aaron became the Kohen Gadol. But the point is that you could still say that Moshe was the Kohen and he was the Melech at the same time. Okay, we should have more dafs like this one. Yeah.